What's going on, sports fans? Big baller shot callers, Big Ken here. Welcome from the Grid to Rim Sports Talk Show. Joined by my co-host Monty Brown. Another
Sir,
week.
what's up?
What's up? What's up, everyone? Um, Another good week of college and NFL football. Man, uh, in college, Texas barely surviving K-State.
Mm,
Oklahoma State upset Oklahoma. Alabama LSU game was pretty good for a while, but then kind of turned in the fourth quarter.
yeah,
Georgia Missouri was another good game. Missouri had their chances, but Georgia held on to win that one. And of
yeah.
course,
New Missouri would give them some trouble there. I called that one. I knew,
yeah, you
wow,
did call that
saw
one.
that coming.
That was a good call on your part. They were close, but they squandered some chances.
Yeah,
Um, NFL Eagles Cowboys game was a really good game. Then we have Damar Hamlin and Buffalo Bills going back to Cincinnati, which was interesting. I definitely wanted to watch
mhm,
that game with everything that transpired last year that shook the whole entire nation. It was good to see.
yes.
It was good to see Damar Hamlin back there healthy. He didn't play; he was there, so that was nice. And then, of course, like always, we'll get into picks for college and NFL for this upcoming week. I
All
guess
right.
to start off, we could start with OSU, Oklahoma State upsetting Oklahoma. I didn't watch that game, but I can't say I'm not surprised because Oklahoma barely survived Texas, and I think we both agreed Texas should have won that game if they didn't have the three turnovers.
Yes.
So, and Oklahoma survived a scare the week prior, I think, against Central Florida. So,
Right.
UCF, yeah,
Right.
University of Central Florida. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
is
I didn't.
Oklahoma
We
good,
didn't.
but they're not great. Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't pick this game last week. Probably, I think we ran out of time, but
yeah,
I saw it coming. I saw it coming. It's I know it's a little too late now, but I would have picked the upset. I saw. I it was every all the stars were lined up, all the planets were lined up for this upset, and I saw it coming. Yeah, yeah, they was moving the ball on Oklahoma like nothing. I mean, I saw bits and pieces of it. Uh, Quarterback for Oklahoma did not play as well as he did against Texas for some reason, but yeah, it was tough to win that game at Oklahoma State's home. That crowd was
I
just
bet.
wild, and that was a good send off before Oklahoma goes to the SEC for Oklahoma State. It's the last time they'll meet in a long time unless they schedule themselves in the future. So
Very good point. Very
yeah,
good point.
yeah. So we're gonna see a lot of teams put their best effort towards Texas and Oklahoma because they are leaving that conference. And
Yeah,
Oklahoma State's no different. They might be Oklahoma's second biggest rival besides after Texas.
yeah,
So yeah. That upset, if you want to call that an upset, doesn't surprise me one bit. I
yeah.
saw
No,
that
it's
coming
not
right
an
away.
upset. It's not a big upset. Is it an upset? Yes, but it's not a big upset because they were both ranked, and we knew Oklahoma was a little bit suspicious.
Hmm.
Are they good? Yes, but they're not great. But we knew that they were beatable because we knew Texas could have beat them, should have beat them, but they didn't. They
Mm.
felt they had those turnovers, like we said. That was the difference in the game.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, you made a very good point about since Oklahoma and Texas are leaving the conference, everyone's they want to go out in style against these guys.
Hmm.
Same thing in some other conferences with UW and Wazoo may not have the Apple Cup anymore, and there might be some crazy things with that this year. And since
Well, I hope they find a way to keep that one.
I
Yeah.
think they're trying to, from what I know, we won't cover it in today's show, but I have heard some talk where I do think they're trying to keep it on the schedule somehow. But
Right.
I am going. One thing to say before we get to the next game, I am going to the UW Michigan game. There is a date. They put out the schedule for next year. It's October 5th, and me and a bunch of work friends are going. So there are several of us going, and we haven't bought tickets yet, but we're going to buy them soon as early as possible to get a cheap price. And they came out the date, and it's the earlier time of year when the weather's still decent here. I was kind of worried about being like now, being a late season game in November where it gets really rainy here, but
Mhm.
October 5th, the weather is usually still decent, so hopefully it's a good day that day. But even if it's not, we're going to go and tailgate and have a good time. So, yes.
Sounds fun, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Michigan UW game next year. No doubt. Um,
Oof.
next game, Texas barely surviving K-State. Texas was up big 27-7. I watched the
Mhm.
first 3 quarters of that game. I didn't watch the fourth quarter because I had to go do something, but I was surprised when I look at my phone. It was 30-30 going to overtime. I'm glad Texas squeaked it out, but it's been like this
Yes.
3 weeks in a row. K-State was a more quality opponent, so I'll give them some slack on that because K-State is ranked. But they've
Yes.
done this a couple weeks in a row against Houston and some other teams where they weren't very good, and they're barely squeaking out these wins. So it is a little bit concerning. But one good thing I will say about Texas is in recent years, in past years, they would always find ways to lose these games, and this year they're actually finding ways to win the game. So that's a good thing. But I just don't like the fact that they're playing down to their competition. They should have been more dominant in some of these games, with the exception of K-State, because K-State was ranked and they were good. They've always been good. K-State's always had a decent football program, so usually. So what's your take on that game?
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head on that one, how they were in the past losing these close games. I mean, they did do that once against Oklahoma this year, but yeah, I'm with you on that. Same thing. I wasn't paying too much attention to this game because they were up so big. And next thing I knew, it was tied. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Texas is at it again. But and like I talked about a minute ago, it's these teams in that conference are going to give these teams their best effort because they're leaving. We don't know when they're going to schedule them again, and it's a good send off. That would have been an upset. This would have been something that everybody would have talked about.
Yeah, it
But
would have been upset.
Texas found a way to pull it off.
Yeah.
So so that was tough. So they're still in the running for the national title. If they would have lost this game, they would have been out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Oklahoma's out with 2 losses now. Yep, they're out.
Yes.
Yeah, no. K-State just kept on coming back. When I saw the first half, Texas was up 17-0, but then they got, a touchdown before halftime to make it 17-7. So they kind of kept them in the game, you know. And then, Texas started dominating again in the third quarter, got up 27-7. But then, K-State comes fighting back in the fourth quarter. So K-State was just kind of hanging in there, I guess, and just finding ways to come back, and they ended up tying it. So, yeah, that was crazy. But like I said, I didn't see the overtime, but obviously Texas field goal kicker made the field goal, and I think K-State got the ball back. I'm assuming they turned it over, or the kicker missed a kick or something.
No. Oh, this I did see. What happened? They had a chance to tie it in the overtime, and the coach decided, hey, we're going to win this game. We have nothing to lose. They went for the win.
Oh, and they didn't get it.
Texas held them on that fourth down. Real good play, and that's how Kansas State ended up losing. So can't blame the coach for that. I mean, he rolled the dice, lost it, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's pretty gutsy. That's pretty gutsy. Yeah,
if I was going for Kansas State, I would have been good with that.
Yeah. No, I like
against
that.
the big bad Texas Longhorns. Leave it all out in the field, and they did.
Yeah, I respect that. Absolutely,
yeah.
I respect that. That's awesome. I respect that coach 100%. That's cool. Yeah. They didn't get it, but you respect him going for it, no doubt.
Yeah.
LSU Alabama. Alabama won 42-28. First half was really good football with both teams. I watched most of that game and all that game. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
LSU quarterback got hurt in the fourth quarter, Daniels, and it kind of just changed the game. And Alabama was already up 42-28, so they were kind of barely hanging on by a thread. But then when he got hurt, LSU just had no more offense after that, and it was game over. Final score 42-28. Hopefully Daniels is okay. I know he was in concussed. He took I'm surprised they didn't kick that player out. I think he should have been ejected, but he took that, the late they did throw a foul for for a late hit, roughing the passer and quarterback, but I felt like he could have possibly been ejected. I'm surprised they didn't review it, because in NFL and college they have the review capability where I don't in high school football, because we stick with the call on the field. There is no reviewing with what I do, but they have the opportunity to review these kind of things. So I'm surprised they did not review that. He possibly could have been ejected, in my opinion.
Maybe because, I don't know if they should. I kind of have a problem with that rule anyway, ejecting players for 15-yard penalty. I'm kind of on the fence about that. I kind of have a disagreement, but part of it's because I believe it's Alabama LSU is a big matchup. You don't want to eject that player.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point.
I think that's what it is.
Ejections is hard, and you have to be very sure of yourself. But college and high school and NFL all look at things differently.
Right.
For that criteria. for high school around here, we look at it differently because was it flagrant?
Mhm.
If it's flagrant, then he's getting ejected. If it's not flagrant, then he just gets the 15-yard penalty that you're talking about.
Right. Intent. They got to show intent to hurt the player. A good hard hit. I don't care if it is helmet to helmet. I don't know. You're not trying to hurt the player. You're just trying to get the player
Yeah,
down.
no, and that's what we were looking at in high school football, and that's what that there was a play that happened to there was a play that happened in my game where his intent was to hurt the player, and we should have kicked him out, but I didn't see it. It was in the middle of the season, and the back judge had my back. I should have thrown a flag because it was literally right in front of my face, but it happened so fast. I just didn't know what to throw, but I'm glad he threw a flag. So we had the flag for the targeting, but the back judge asked me, my partner Ken, was that flagrant? Because you saw it. You had a good view. And I said, no, I don't think it was flagrant. It was just a hard hit. But looking at, like I said, we don't have replay though. But looking at the video the next day, I was sick to my stomach because that kid had no intentions of wrapping up. He came in headhunting and
That's different.
That's different. He didn't wrap up the player. He just straight went for it. He just straight speared him, and yeah, he should have been kicked out. And I'm surprised that player stayed in the game. He was hurt, but he did go back. He did come back in the game later. I'm surprised he wasn't knocked out. I felt really bad because I definitely missed that call. We had the penalty for the targeting, but he should have been ejected. That kid was lucky he was still in the game. So, and that team was feisty, and they're much better than the other team. And it was a blowout game, and yeah, they were just doing unnecessary things. They're already whooping them pretty good, and he did not have to do that. So yeah, that kid's very lucky. I'm glad the other player was okay though. Thank God, because that was bad. That was a vicious hit. But let's go into some other things.
Yeah.
Number 2, Michigan at number 9, Penn State. Michigan is finally going to be challenged after going into like week 10 or 11 of the year. They're finally getting challenged. So I hope Michigan comes out okay, but I do think it's going to be a game, and I just hope Michigan can handle the adversity. That's all I'm worried about, is they handle the adversity well. If they handle it well, I think they'll come out with a win. If they don't, they'll lose. So I'm picking Michigan to still win this game, but they will. But I just wonder how they would handle finally having an actual team that could play against them.
Yeah.
And no cupcakes. So they finally got a real opponent this week. What's your take on that game?
Yeah, I got Michigan to win this game as well at Penn State. It's not going to be easy.
Nope.
Michigan to win this game by 3. Yeah, they got the like you mentioned, the adversity of going to Penn State, plus what we've been talking about a couple of weeks, what's going on with the coaching staff. I'm not sure if you heard it. They could be looking at suspending Harbaugh. I don't think anything will come out from that.
Yeah.
But it's just more stuff to hang over their head and just to distract them. If they can avoid this distraction, I like their chances. But yeah, Penn State's a good team, very good defense, and could give Michigan some problems. So, but I do have them Michigan winning this game, barely 3 points.
Yeah, Penn State and Michigan's defense is both really good. I do think Michigan's offense is better from what I've seen, but then again, I've only seen Michigan play against bad teams, so they have an easy time scoring with their running game and their passing game. They're just killing people because they could do whatever they want the whole entire game from the very like opening kickoff. They're just already beating the crap out of these guys. So I think Michigan's offense does have an advantage, but they are playing against a really good defense finally for the first time. But Michigan's defense is top notch too, so it could be a low scoring game. But I do think Michigan does have an advantage because I think McCarthy is a better quarterback than Penn State's quarterback because he's still younger. I think he's still trying to learn how to be, a starting quarterback in a Big Ten conference, which is a hard conference to play, and he's young. I think McCarthy does have an advantage with experience, being in his junior season. This is his 3rd year, so he's learned a lot the first 2 years. So I think that'll play a big difference. Real quick, number 13, Utah at number 5, UW. I think that's a hard one. UW has the offense. Michael Penix Jr. has been going off all year, but UW is just like Texas last 3 or 4 weeks. They're barely winning games against bad teams. They did beat USC last week in shootout. And of course, USC is a good team offensively, so I expected that game to be close. But in weeks prior to that, they were barely beating Arizona State and a few other teams. I was like, what is going on with these guys? Like after the Oregon win, they just kind of barely been winning games. But they are hanging on to their number 5 spot by winning these games, but they haven't looked dominant. So it is a little bit of a concern. Utah could come with this win. So I think Utah will win, but Utah is like we've mentioned in previous shows, Utah is a tough-nosed, hard-nosed team, physical team that likes to run the ball. They have decent quarterback play. The guy isn't as good as Penix. There's no doubt about that, but he's not bad. He's kind of like a gamer. Utah's quarterback is he comes up big in big moments. So this is going to be a game. I think UW will win, but they have a tough challenge the next 2 or 3 weeks. They have hard games like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and this is one of them. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough challenge. What did impress me about this past game was the running back, Dylan Johnson.
Yes.
What shocked me about it, he's a junior this year, but he's never had any more than 100 yards in the game. And last week he had over 256 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Nice.
He's not, I'll just say it, he's not going to get that against this Utah defense, but they need half of that from him to take some of that pressure off of Penix, which means that's a complete game on offense for that team. That's what they're going to need to beat Utah. At least 100, $120 from Dylan Johnson and Penix to be Penix.
Yeah.
They need all that to win this game.
Yep, I agree. Utah has a better defense, in my opinion. UW's defense isn't that great. They're not horrible. They're not as bad as USC's defense, but they're not like Oregon's defense being a top notch defense. They're kind of in the middle. But Utah has an advantage on defense. I know that.
Right.
Yeah, but you're right. UW needs a full arsenal of offense, not being one-sided. I agree. That should be a good game.
Yes.
All right. NFL, Cowboys,
Missouri.
NFL? Go ahead. What was that?
Oh, another one I'm interested in. I know we got to get to the NFL.
Go for it, Monty. Yeah, let's talk college more. I'm with you.
Yeah, that Tennessee-Missouri game's got my attention.
Yes. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, man, Missouri gave Georgia all they can handle.
Yeah.
So, man, I expect a real shootout against Tennessee. I expect Missouri to win this game, actually.
Yeah.
So, man, I wish I could see it. I'm not sure what time it's going on. I'll be working. It won't be a late game, but I'll be keeping my eye on that one. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, no, Tennessee-Missouri is going to be a good game. Are they playing at Tennessee or Missouri?
That's at Missouri.
Ooh, yeah, no, wow, yeah, that's going to be a good one. Missouri definitely has a good chance with that for sure. Especially, like I said, how they played against Georgia. And they're at home this time because they're playing at Georgia, and they gave them a game. Yeah, I got Missouri to upset Tennessee, actually. I'll pick Missouri in that one. I think Missouri can get it done. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And then real quick, I guess there is one more other college game since you mentioned it. Number 1 Georgia or number 10 Mississippi, Ole Miss at number 1 Georgia. That should be another good game too.
Yeah.
I think Georgia will find another way to squeak it out. I haven't really paid attention to Ole Miss this year, but they are ranked number 10, so I don't know much about them. But I think Georgia will win though at home. Georgia's being somewhat fortunate because they're playing some tough teams at home, so that helps them out. So
and like we mentioned, they don't appear to be as dominant as they were last year, but they're still undefeated. And I think they'll win this game as well. It should be a good game, but they'll win it.
I think it'll be another close game like it was last week against Missouri. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, who can execute better in the fourth quarter. And Georgia seems to be a better second half team than they are a first half from what I've seen so far this year. So they should be okay. All right. Now we're into the NFL. Cowboys and Eagles was a good game. Cowboys lost 28-23.
Boy.
Yeah, Dak Prescott played lights out, so all the Dak Prescott haters don't say anything about Dak because he played lights out. The problem wasn't him. The problem was the defense wasn't as top-notch as I thought they could have been. They had a horrible third quarter. Is our defense good? Yes. But one thing I know so far, against good teams, they don't play very well, so that has me somewhat concerned because we already know what happened against San Francisco when they beat the brakes off us. Our defense played horrible in that game, so our defense is a little bit concerning against quality opponents. They seem to dominate against bad offensive teams like New York Giants, the New York Jets, teams like that. Like they need to show me a dominant performance against a good team, a winning team. So I love the way that Cowboys did. I love the way we battled, though. We battled pretty hard in that game. But we unfortunately came out all the way to the end.
Yeah, should have had it. Should have had it. Yeah, Prescott played awesome. He normally plays well against Philly. Man, they literally lost that game by inches. Man, steps out of bounds by a
my God, yes.
Conversion.
Then the catch on the goal line with the tight end. Oh my God, yeah. There was 2 plays in that game. That was just crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, it happens. I mean, still the right tackle had a terrible game. He normally blocks well. He's getting ripped right now, and deservedly so. I mean, he gave up 4 sacks. All 4 sacks were given up by him.
Yeah, and the last drive of the game, we took 2 in a row. They kind of knocked us out of range. We were inside the red zone. Yeah, those 2 sacks at the end of the game were just killer, man. I'm like, oh my goodness.
And Dak played good. He did hold the ball too long on some of them, which he has a bad habit of doing sometimes.
Yeah, he does do that.
Took some bad sacks the first time, but no, just it was just one of those games. And people were blaming the refs and all that. Both teams had 10 penalties.
Yeah, I'm not blaming the refs.
Calls here and there.
Not just because I'm an official, but it was even. Yeah, it was even amount of penalties.
Yeah,
both defenses were getting a lot of penalties. That's one thing I was pissed off about Dallas' defense in the third quarter. We get penalized so much on defense for stupid crap.
Right.
And then the third quarter, we just couldn't stop anything. But they did toughen up in the fourth quarter a little bit. But we also had that fumble at the end. But then he recovered his own fumble. That would have been inside the red zone instead of him punting the ball away.
Yeah.
And then he had a good punt where Turpin couldn't recover it and bounces inside our 20-yard line. But we still went all the way down there. Dak made a couple of good throws. Eagles defense got penalized a couple times with running the passer and a few other things, which helped us get further down the field. But so it was like a combination of Dak making really good throws and penalties against the Eagles. But those 2 sacks at the end were just freaking killer, man. And then the pass to CeeDee Lamb, I think they're trying to do a hook and ladder or something. He caught it at the 2 or 3 yard line, but he got tackled right away. Had no chance of getting the ball off. Of course, you like to see the ball go into the end zone, but Dak had to get rid of the ball before he got sacked. Yeah. He had to give him a chance. I'm glad he passed off and gave him a chance to try to do something.
Usually, you don't complete that pass. I mean, that close. So, man,
it was close. Yeah, it was very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully Dallas plays good the second half of the season and gets and learns how to beat some good teams as the season goes along. But I liked the effort. We just came up short.
Yeah, that's all it was. Yep.
Yeah, but the effort was there, and our defense needs to play better. Like I said, in big games, they struggle. In my opinion, they struggle. I need to see the defense do better. Buffalo struggled on Sunday Night Football. Damar Hamlin was back in town after what happened last year. With him having a cardiac arrest on the field, actually dying on the field, and then bringing him back to life.
Right.
And him going to the hospital, University of Cincinnati Hospital, and everything that transpired after that. And that game was just crazy. I think the main thing was just about Damar Hamlin making it back, but Buffalo didn't play good on offense, and Joe Burrow seems like he's back. They struggled early in the year when he was injured, but he seems like he's back, and he's playing like the Joe Cool that we know. So he played a good game. And Buffalo struggles against good teams also, like the Cowboys. So they're kind of not doing good against that also. So they're 5-4 now. So we'll see what happens with the rest of their season. Monday Night Football, before we get into some picks, Jets offense just completely struggled, man. Zach Wilson is starting to get together and play much better, in my opinion. But this game, he just kind of struggled.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Yeah, he was bad. He was missing throws that were open.
Bad.
But in his defense, Garrett Wilson fumbles a pass that he completes, and then he fumbles the ball, and there was other fumbles, so it wasn't all on him. But Zach Wilson did have a rough game, and but I hope he bounces back. I did think he was looking better in the weeks past, and he won 3 games in a row for him. I thought he was starting to play better, but hopefully he can regroup because Zach Wilson definitely struggled in that game, and Troy Aikman was all over him about that. Troy Aikman was just bashing him left and right.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking a few weeks ago about how much he was improving, and man, he made
Yeah.
liars out of us last Monday. So that's wow, man. He
Yeah,
looked
he had a
terrible.
rough one. He had a rough
Yeah,
one. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that because Chargers secondary isn't that good, but they do have a really good
no,
defensive line. They got Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa,
yes,
and there's some rookie guy that they got that had a couple of sacks too. They have a really
right.
good defensive line. That was the difference in the game. Their defensive line was just crazy. So yeah, yeah. But hopefully he bounces back next week.
Yeah.
Um, tonight's game, Panthers at Bears. Who do you got? That's a tough one.
Oh boy. Um, I don't think Justin Fields is playing tonight.
No, but that D2
No,
guy is playing okay though. They played good
yeah.
last. He played good last week. So
And
I don't
I'm
know. That's a
interested in
hard
this
one.
game just for that matchup with him and the rookie quarterback from the Panthers. Um, I would like to see the Bears win at home. I'm just picking that from. I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight for either of these teams, but
Yeah,
I would just like to see the Bears win this game.
I agree. They need to win. The Panthers got to win a couple weeks ago. Then last week, the rookie quarterback threw a couple pick sixes. That was his worst game of the year. He's had a good year overall. The Alabama quarterback has
Yeah,
played pretty well overall. Not as good as CJ Stroud with Houston. CJ Stroud is killing it, but
yeah,
the Alabama quarterback isn't doing bad overall. And Houston just has, I think, a little bit better players around them, around CJ Stroud also to help them out. So, but I think the Bears will win. I think the Bears will win at home. So I'll go with the Bears as well. Hopefully, the D two guy gets another win. That'll be another good storyline for him to get
all
another
right.
win for him. Um,
Yes.
Colts at Patriots. Uh,
Mm.
Patriots lost a close one last week. I did pick the other team to win. I can't remember who it was, but I did pick them to win. They did. God, will Patriots lose two in a row at home? And will the Colts win one? That's another tough one. I'll go with the Patriots this time. I'll pick the home team, but the Colts are playing better football overall than what the Patriots are. There's no doubt about that. But I'll go with the Patriots. Maybe they'll finally squeak this one out.
And I don't know where this is coming from, but there's word of Belichick getting fired if he loses this game. I don't see that happening, but and where that's coming from, I don't know. But
Now with
I
six
still have the
rings,
Patriots to win this game.
yeah. The game I'm really interested in is the Browns at Ravens. Ravens has
Ooh,
been destroying people at home, but I do think the
yes.
Browns are better than the Seahawks defensively. So I think the Browns will give them a game. I have the Ravens win that one. I think that's going to be I hope it's going to be as good as the game as advertised. I think it's going to be a really good game. But I got the Ravens. Ravens are just playing really good football right now. Lamar Jackson's going
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. Right now, the Ravens are the best team in football. At least they're playing like it.
Yeah.
But if there's going to be an upset, that's going to be it. Division rivals. Browns have one of the best, maybe top two defenses in the league. That's a matchup that can give Lamar Jackson some trouble. But I still have the Ravens at home for that one.
All right. Let's skip over some games since we got less than 2 minutes. Giants at our Cowboys. I think Cowboys will bounce back. We know what happened in the last opening game of the year in New York. I don't think it'll be a 40-0 game like that. But
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys do got to be careful because this could be a trap game because we know the Giants are horrible offensively, but they still are an NFL team with NFL athletes. And
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor might be able to get it going. I don't think they will, but I think Tyrod Taylor's playing. Daniel Jones is out for the year, I believe. So I think it's all Tyrod Taylor.
Last I heard, Taylor's out too. They have a quarterback
Ooh,
named DeVito
oh, crap.
that's going to start. So, yeah. So the Cowboys should cover the spread 17 and a half.
They
They have
should.
no
They
reason to lose.
should. I'm just worried that they just don't show up for this game because they know they have a
Yeah.
major advantage. They should.
Yeah.
It
It can
should be a
happen.
good bounce back game for them.
Right.
Real quick, we're under a minute, but Jets at Raiders. I think I got the Jets. I mean, the Raiders
Yeah.
are playing better since they fired their coach, but I think the Jets will bounce back. What do you think?
I like the Raiders, man. Antonio Pierce has this team
Oh
fired
yeah,
up.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ex-Giant. So, yeah, I'll take the Raiders on this one.
All right. There's Broncos at Bills. We don't have time to cover that's Monday Night Football, but I got the Bills. I think they'll bounce
Yeah.
back real
Yeah.
quick.
Bills will bounce back. I got that one. Bills.
All right. Thanks for subscribing. People, we're under a minute, so we're going to cut out any second. But it was a quick show today. But thanks for subscribing and tune in to us next week.
All right. See y'all later.
Peace
Thank
out.
you.